Welcome, my friends. What's going on? It is Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going live tonight. The point of the video tonight is to share the photos and some of the experiences that I had at Toronto Audiofest in my own sort of style, my casual sort of being live, talking to my friends, welcoming all kinds of questions and inquiries and things like that. Thank you for joining and being here tonight. I see Mirage Bryston's already here. Thank you very much for being around. Trones is here. What's up? What's up, my man? I know that the Warsaw show and Kuala Lumpur shows in Asia have been filling the social media space for the last weekend. I know that shows are pretty back to back these days and content is rapidly upon us. There's lots of different things to look at. So let me just go through all of my photos for my YouTube fans, and then we'll move on to some other things, some other exciting stuff, like the speaker demos that I will have in-house. A lot of the models that I currently have, I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting any more. Shipping and handling, unless they're local, is a real problem. Local is much easier. So we'll talk about that after the photos. And if there's any questions at all, I can see your comments. Please let me know. Is the mic working? Can you hear me? Is the visuals okay? If there's anything wrong at all, please tell me in the chat. If I knew sign language, I would do sign language, but I don't. It's been an interesting week. The channel has seen some massive growth, which is very good to see. Also shows me that people are interested in Toronto Audio Fest content, like the photos, certain videos that I have posted. I think I've posted almost 20 or more videos, maybe even 25 videos. I know that there were 16 in the last batch that I did on the weekend, which was Friday night, Saturday. And then Sunday, I took a little bit of a break today. I did 3 videos in the 2-channel room. Those videos will have to be posted after this live. Will make more sense on Monday. They will be released on Monday. There's 3 of them. One of them is about 20 some odd minutes. Another one is 18 minutes. And then I've got a short 4 or 5 minute, 7-minute video. All of them featuring a speaker that I will talk about at the end of the video. So the feedback is, it looks great here. Okay, perfect. That is awesome. Again, at any point, please leave comments, questions, feedback, as long as it's respectful. I don't mind negatives. If you're going to express negatives, that's okay. Please make it intelligent. I mean, if we're looking at and reading things that are, like grade school level opinions, it's not really helpful to anybody. It's cool to express your opinion, sure. If you're giving reasons for that, it's much more intelligent and much more accepting of a community, because every opinion or criticism has a reason. Both of those would be accepted. Saying, I don't like it, it's overpriced, it's all trash, blah, blah, blah. That's really not what I'm looking for on the channel. You'll have to do a little bit better than that. And if I see anything that's like criticizing people, if there's any attacking of persons or saying things about others in comments, that kind of attacking other people or criticizing other people is not accepted. If you're talking about something they're saying, that's okay. I just need to address that, because this last week, because of all of the growth and attentions and things that were being talked about, there was a lot of things being said and things being slung across the media at strangers that doesn't have any place on my channel. I'm not going to speak softly or just allow for everyone to say whatever they want in a space where it doesn't serve the purpose of the community, and there's no reason to be disrespectful. So that being said, I mean, I understand the idea of representing freedom of speech, but there are consequences for your freedom. You can do it, but that's not to say that there are no consequences attached to your actions. So that being said, let's get that out of the way, and let's go straight into some of the photos that I have from the show. We're going to start off on my day one. The first photo that I took for the day was some of the weather on my walk to the local shop. I had to buy some snacks on the way. Toronto Audiofest is only 10 minutes from my home, so it was really awesome to be able to do that. And on the way, I took a picture of the tree that's up the street from my parking lot. So that was first. My first stop was over by the EQ audio section in the new hotel. The new hotel section had an entire section called Earvana, which dealt with strictly headphones and portable media, DACs, desktop setups, things like that. Mostly headphone related, headphone amps, headphone DACs. There's a video that I still have to post and edit about that. So my channel is not finished with uploading video content. That will be on the way. Again, like I said, I've uploaded 20 or maybe 25 videos about Toronto Audio Fest specifically. And then in between there, I've been doing some other stuff. So it's a lot of video content. And I know that it's much more casual than my other friends and my other peers will have produced and recorded, and their production value is much higher. It's well edited. It's a lot of them it's paid for. So if you're making, X number of hundreds or if not thousands of dollars for doing these professional looking videos, then I have absolutely no problem with it taking a week or a longer period of time or looking really great. And in my case, no one paid me to do anything. I wasn't offered anything for my work. I went and did it for free with my own bought and paid for gear, and I'm uploading it at my own pace. So I'm not working for anyone, and I'm putting this stuff up for the audience specifically. I would much rather be beholden to the people and the audience in a way, like Patreon would pay or donations would pay or super chats or things like that. I would much rather gain success slowly and have to be in no one's pocket. That way I can say what I have to say about something and it's authentic and real. No one is going to punish me, or no one will have any control over what I have to say. Now, going back to the idea of freedom of speech, I may be able to say it, but that may lead to consequences. And I understand that there's a give and take with the audio business. So I still have to mind my manners, as it were. So Mirage Bryson saying, I had a peek. It was a huge room, looked interesting, but I had not paid for that part of the show. I didn't know how it was oriented. I mean, there's 2 buildings, 2 shows. I guess it gave people the option of seeing either one. Jay Livingston is here. I haven't seen that name in a little while. That's cool. Thanks for the coverage. Looks like a great time. Yeah, we'll get to a couple more photos here. Just want to address these things. Do you ever make a video about hearing test results? Yes. So that's where I remember the name. Yeah, I did do the hearing test. It was in a previous video. It was your comment earlier on in criticism about my telling other people not to do reviews if they're not showing their hearing test. I went to do a hearing test, and unfortunately, the standard hearing test is only 200 hertz to 8,000 hertz, and it was basically minus 5 decibels from absolute zero, which is excellent sense of hearing from end to end. In order to do a full sweep 20 to 20, I'm going to need a research lab or another type of thing. Now, I'm working with my local friends, some of which you know, but I won't say their name because I don't know if they want to be included. I'm looking at resources that are local to my city in order to get a sweep that is 20 to 20, so I can back up everything that I'm saying in terms of good hearing. Now, my other friends and peers have done tests, and they've shown me that their hearing tests are the same, 200 to 8,000. We'll get to that, and I do recall that debate at one point, so I've provided that information. It is available. So one of my first really fun photos of the show was the new Monitor Audio Gold series. These are the 6G, I believe. The one thing that I noticed about these is it's a hard edge around each of these plates on the front, and I wished it was like a 45-degree chamfer, but I know that each one of these milling processes costs money. The inside is milled to a degree so that the airflow and frequencies can roll off the cone surface, off the edge of the cover, but the other side is not, and it's a hard edge. So around the mid-range and the woofer here, these are hard edges to the cabinet. It's the one thing that I noticed I thought might have been a little bit better, but you know what? It does cost extra money. And, you know, the Studio Series obviously has a very nice and better looking insert, where the cone material, the tweeter, it's all updated. It's all newer. It's closer to the hyphen in quality than even the platinum materials are, I believe. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt and look at their websites for actual details. I mean, who am I? I'm a guy with a YouTube channel. How can I be held responsible for anything? If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I'm only showing my photos and talking about what I can come up with off the top of my head. So yes, the Q5 Rotel Michi CD player was on display. I got a number of photos here, a video with the guys from Cavro, Sheldon here, and I'm so terrible with names. My Jeffrey, and Rick was in the room, and I got to see these guys again. It's always great hanging around with them. My apologies. I'm just terrible with names. Yeah, this was a really good demo. I have a video of this whole demo on my channel if you missed it. One of the reps from Rotel was here. I didn't post all these photos because there's so many like silly faces, and I'm showing them here because it's a photo scroll. So I was taking many photos to make sure that it was like the best sort of photo representation of him as possible. I didn't want to have like silly faces in the video or to post it on my channels, but here I am showcasing it to YouTube, which is arguably even more people. But I just want to show like my effort. I took, how many photos is this? Like 16 photos, trying to make sure that it was the best possible. And I believe this is the last one, and it's the last one I took. So this is the one that I used. I just want to make sure that I got the best angle, the best look. So this was the first time that I had heard the new Gold Series. The CD player was really nice. They did play a number of CDs. However, I think it was on display for a number of different purposes. Some of the CDs, they were saying they had some trouble with the mechanism or something, because these are early models that where they are produced, they are released, they are made in-house, but the early units that go out sometimes are not final. Now, this is also seen in other models of speakers and things like that. There's a couple of review models that went out for Arundel Towers. The 1528 series went out. Youthman and Jay Lee have them on their channel, and they both confirmed that the products that they have in-house, the jumpers and attenuators for those speakers, are not working because they're pre-production models. That can be the same case here, where they're on display at a show for the case and for the showcase of the product, but sometimes there are issues. These things happen. We're talking about electronics. For whatever reason, some of the CD playback seem to have an issue. I don't know what or why, but that was a bit of information that I was told. I brought a CD in for a demo. You can see that they're using PC USB here. So this is the CD player is acting as a DAC in this instance, with a streaming unit that was in the stack here. I figured showcase some of the technology and the new cone material with the tower. This is one of those clever kinds of shots that I like to take when I'm at shows. All of these photos will be on my Facebook page. If you don't follow or don't have Facebook, that's understandable. That's why I'm doing this for YouTube with all of my new followers and friends that are here. Hey, True Voice of Reasons here, popping in to say hi, still working. If you're still talking music recommendations, taking music recommendations, just about anything on Roland Oz or Orzaballs, Tomcat screaming outside. What? Oh my goodness. Sounds like a jazz album. There you go, everybody. Copy it, write it down, take a new song suggestion. Yeah. I will have some new music stuff to talk about later in the week. Here's a couple of close-ups of the CD player. removing the CD tray with the carbon fiber inlay on the mechanism. This is a solid, what am I trying to say here? It's a solid cutout from the surface. It's like a bowl of machined aluminum. You can see here some of the striations from the machining. Again, there's the solid cutout, solid aluminum bowl, and then here's the lid. My scrolling's a little bit fast. So yes, it's a carbon fiber housing for the laser mechanism. I don't have any details on the laser mechanism. We will have to take a look at that online later on. I'm scrolling for the point of the photography. This is a photo of the underside of the lid. See, the lid is missing here. This is the underside where this is a stabilizing mechanism that's built into the underside of the lid on this side. And then there's a rubberized or some sort of a seal around here. So it's a soft touch. It's not metal on metal. A couple of other clever shots here of the lid. I believe this was one of the favorites that I got feedback on while I was at the show. A number of models in the corner. They have the smaller bookshelf, the larger bookshelf, which is a three-way, the mid-sized tower, and then the ones at the front of the room were the largest tower on display. The Anthra series subwoofers were on display, matching center channel and on-wall speakers, all part of the new Monitor Audio Gold series. And then moving on to the Blades and Stable 33 turntables. Just trying to get a clever shot of the shape and all of the speakers across the front. God, stop scrolling. Any feedback is welcome at this point. Thank you for watching. Yeah, so Stable 33 is the local Canadian manufacturer of turntables and parts. And I went over to capture as best I could the materials and the turntables that are there. Again, this is a new location for Toronto Audiofest. There was the main location, which is the Westin Hotel, and this was in the Holiday Inn Hotel location, which was Irvana and a number of other rooms. SPL were the amps and preamp or signal control. I'm not really sure because SPL is more of like a pro type of audio manufacturing products. So they were amplifiers, but I'm not really sure if you would call this a preamp or a signal control or what have you. I didn't look at the product list. I don't have a list or prices or anything like that of the rooms. Again, I wasn't doing show reports. I don't have a review of the rooms, so I don't have this information for everyone. My purpose at these shows is to bring visuals and some sort of impression of the room. A lot of my videos of these rooms are online already, some of the products here. So in this instance, it's a matter of having as best photography as I can get for the purpose of sharing the brand's materials and products, not necessarily bringing all of the details, because at any point you can look this stuff up online. Mirage Bryson saying the red sure made a statement. Very nice looking for sure. Yeah, they actually sounded pretty great too. The number of demos that I got were actually pretty impressive. And then the inside of the Paradigm subwoofer, that I believe this is the XR11. It could have been the XR13. I'm not really sure. This is a cross section with one of the side panels missing. This is obviously built and put together for viewing purposes. This whole side panel would have been completely enclosed and not visible. It's not removable in a final model, but this shows you that the construction of the woofer in general and the bracing inside of the cabinet with its shape. I just wanted to capture and get in close here. I believe it's a dual differential spider where this coil is wound one way and then it flips and winds the other way. So when it moves through the coil, the currents are opposite in direction. So it cancels out any kind of negative movement or distortions that would be present. And then the suspension is, one spider is on this side of the coil and another suspension's on the bottom side of the coil, so that it eliminates any wobbling. Apologies, I just hit my camera and microphone. So I wanted to showcase how this was engineered. Now, I don't often show their products anymore, and some people know why. But you know what? When it's really good engineering, there's no denying that it's good engineering. The same with this. I think this is a pretty interesting device. It's a very, very what they're calling slim 5-channel surround sound device. So it's HDMI in and out, wireless, and all of your speaker connections will get plugged in here. This is so small and tiny that you can easily mount it to the back of a TV and wire it for 5-channel surround sound in just about any location. So it's very clever. I think they did a good job with this product. So yeah, it's a lot of custom installation, large venue, very clean sort of installation purposes. Then I went over to the Burmester room, which Jay Z Yagi has a great video of this. He just posted it today, reposted by Toronto Audiofest, of course, because it was a great moment. Lots of information about that, so you have to watch his video on it. I went in to try and capture a good photo, and my photo settings just kept blurring things the wrong way. It's fantastic color. So I just kept shooting until I got the kind of clarity in the products that I wanted to get. Some pricing here, $21,000 for an integrated amp. This is a fairly reasonable price considering the quality and the engineering that goes into Burmester. Fantastic color too. It's a very exclusive sort of bespoke sort of line. They had 2 matching green speakers beside this, but I couldn't get a good angle on them, so I never did get a photograph. But I did get a chance to photograph the front of the room. I do have and have already posted a short audio clip of this room, so if you're interested, that's posted already. A couple of shots here that I wanted to get. A little bit blurry on the front panel, but you can see that this is a polished, probably aluminum, could be chrome plated stainless steel. I believe the fins are all aluminum. It looks like all of the housing and casing is aluminum, probably cross bracings made of aluminum, side firing woofers, real wood panels. I believe the bottom plate twists in place so you can position your speakers flat or straight into the room, and you can turn them on the platform, or maybe the model above this can do that. I've seen many photos of these before in magazines and online where they have some amazing engineering and quality, and it definitely sounded fantastic. Then again, outside, there's some older models of the Monitor Audio, some of their in-wall stuff. So really, Monitor Audio's got just about everything you could want. And then up to Irvana, there's a couple shots of the EQ audio space. Name Audio, of course, the Atoms and Unities all set up here. Focal headphones on the other side as well, where you have a number of their products that are available in store. The Musical Fidelity, I think this is the M6 DAC / headphone preamp, so that's pretty amazing. You could get that demo. You can set up anything you want at any of these spaces. The Audio, their in-ear monitors that are available. EQ Audio is maybe one of the only dealers in the area that does that, so it's nice that they had that set up. Trying to get clever with you know how they try to get that perspective shot, like through the plant, something's in the way, something, I tried a number of new things at this show. So I will be the first to admit that I don't think that all of these photos are my best. I think that I was experimenting a little bit more. So if I'm honest, I think that the majority of the photo quality turned out to be mediocre, maybe a little bit more creative photography, but they're not my best quality photos. I didn't spend as much time trying to get the right shots. I did get a lot of shots, but they're not the best shots. A few moments here and there. This is Bryson in the room with James himself controlling the system. And then I went in for sort of more like portrait shots here. And then somebody was asking him questions. And then I managed to capture this one, which I think is one of my best shots of the show, just having a shot of James there, just listening and enjoying the system in the room. So this is day one. I'm scrolling through. So Bryston set up the main towers, power amplifiers here, and then the bass towers closer to the wall. And then here's Mark Jones showing off the Magico S3s. I have a full video of this where someone said they're all ridiculously overpriced products. Fantastic feedback from people saying that the CH Precision and the turntable and Magico and like everything's just too expensive. That's the extent of the criticism is just to say that it costs too much. That's wow. Not really informative. I mean, yeah, it costs a lot, but we already know that, so it's not really anything new. It's a really fantastic looking turntable, though, I must admit. And then around the side of the room, I got to visit Aora. This is day one, of course, and I'm sort of going in order how I visited and which rooms I got into. I tend to visit a lot of my friends first. I like to go around and say hello to my friends, people I know, and that's how I visit my rooms. Unless I have other priorities or other things that I've been asked to shoot, then I will go in order and just say hello and see what I see on the way. It's one of the best rooms for me. The Bryston room, Mark Jones was also favorite, and EQ room. Well, definitely Bryston's one of those, like, they're iconic in a way, but I thought that room was very live. There was no room acoustics, no treatment. It was a very deep room where a lot of the sound bounced around that room a lot. It's a little more live than I'm used to. However, I never did get the sweet spot. So to be honest, I don't know if that was negated in the sweet spot or not. Val was on deck showcasing some new stuff. I know Adrian from Audio Excellence has all of this stuff in store. Lumen, PS Audio, Griffin, Macintosh, which is underneath this other speaker here. You can't see it. You can see it in this shot. So Audio Excellence sells all these brands. So it was nice to see them. And then to get a number of really great shots for Aora. And again, this is for promotional and awareness and advertising. I wasn't too happy about all of this stuff. Some of these shots you can see here, like the camera just did this sharp. That'll be a sound clip. The sharp edge here with the blurring. So it's not the best quality, and it's really my phone camera doing software tricks to make it look like that. So this isn't the best, and I probably could have cleaned that up a bit more, but just to showcase I'm not trying to be perfect and show that I didn't make mistakes. And of course, in this shot, there's dust everywhere, but that's, it's hotel showmanship. Like that's what happens. That's what happens at these shows. Like nothing is perfect. You just shoot whatever is there. I think it's a really nice tone shot. This is all natural lighting, no filters. This is really cool. Again, Griffin Audio. Livingston says, I like looking at the stuff, but I just don't see how these companies are selling these very expensive items. I wish there were more rooms for regular people prices. And if you were talking about regular people prices, how much? So here's my counter to and this is the same argument I hear from a lot of people that they just say that it's too expensive. It's like outside of my range. So that's the number one complaint. It's not stuff I can buy. So, it's nice to see, but what about bringing it into my range? Well, if you apply the same logic, you could say that about auto shows, car shows, or like F1 racing, or even sports teams, hockey teams, baseball teams. You go and watch a team for entertainment. You go to watch sports cars for reference, for enjoyment, and you're talking about an average salary of whatever, but that doesn't say anything to someone's priority. You're talking about subjectively, like whatever your budget is not somebody else's budget. This stuff is made for people who can spend it. And to say that like, oh, I can't afford it, so why is it being shown? Or this and that. Well, the thing is, all of these manufacturers have to pay for these spaces. It costs a lot to put on the show. It's for entertainment purposes. We pay tickets, we go check it out, we have fun while we're there. So this question is, what is this question? I just don't see how these companies are selling these very expensive items. That's not a very hard question to answer, my friend. There are people who have budgets far above 54,000 a year, like 200,000, 300,000, $1 million a year. There are people that make a lot of money, and Toronto has a lot of very successful business people. It's a Toronto Audio Fest. Maybe this stuff just isn't for people in that range. If you want something that's less expensive and this is your budget, look up Kanto. Kanto Audio and Monolith Audio by Monoprice, or Polk Audio, or who else? There's SVS. You know what I mean? Like, you can buy stuff from them, but that's not to say, like, why would anybody cast shade on these manufacturers who are putting on a show for people to enjoy? It's the same sort of nonsense comments that I made earlier. You know, that's the number one complaint from people is it's too expensive, so why bother? I don't understand. I don't understand why even make a complaint. So I'm just going to skip the comments. I'm not going to debate that right now because it's literally a waste of time. Yeah, so I did a number of shots here trying to showcase the speakers a little more. Let me see. So again, a little bit. This is actually at the Headphone Bar outside of the EQ Audio room. So they also have a number of different products that they have. Hold on. Let me put all of these on blast. Of course, we can apply the same logic to everything, but the point doesn't change. These items are very expensive. The average consumer can't afford it. That's not the point. If you go to a show like the F1 races, Indy races, car races, the baseball shows, a lot of people can't afford how much the baseball gloves are, the baseball bats, the hockey sticks. You have any idea how much that stuff costs? Most people wouldn't pay for those, but you go because it's fun. Now, if you're going to complain about it because they're putting on the show, then I don't understand why. Been to enough shows to know that there are a lot of attendees who aren't purchasing items. Most are average means. Yeah. So what's the point? Well, I don't understand what you're talking about. So I said you're actually, like usual, every time I see your name pop up, you have this tendency to just get argumentative and make these points in the middle of a live show for the sake of, I don't know what. What is your point? Please make it very simple for everybody. Of the 10 people watching right now that you're posted 7 or so comments in a row talking about why everything's expensive. It'd be nice if more rooms oriented towards average consumer. No need to be defensive for the show's sake. Winky face. That's very condescending and like argumentative. You don't need to wink at me like you're making a point. The reason why these brands that are more consumer oriented don't go to these shows is because the cost of putting on the show for their budget range is too expensive. That's why you don't see brands representing, unless it's Polk Audio, because they are part of Massimo International and they own a lot of different brands. You do see those at the show. So, PMC made the Prestige line. The Prestige line was shown at this show. So it sounds like you didn't go to this show. No, I'm saying why bother? Because that's the point of this. It would be nice if more rooms were oriented towards average consumer. It would be nice. Yeah, but are you willing to pay 3 times the price for the show? Because these brands have to pay to, rent the room. More budget-friendly gear. Well, Earvana was an addition to the show this year. Earvana showcased headphone amps, headphone gear that's way cheaper than most of these hi-fi systems. Much, much more budget-oriented, that kind of thing. And there are lots of options. So if they're not at the show, Why would you want them at the show? What is the reason for wanting them at the show? That's another reason why I've got to say is why do you want more budget stuff at the show? And moving on, the Name Audio EQ Audio room here had 6 different displays, all of which are obviously too expensive for Mr. Livingston here. The X6 models, a number of these shots I just could not get right. I was so disappointed. Actually, at one point, you see some of these fingerprints that are on the speakers. I guess it wasn't wiped down after setting, or maybe the cloths are not, not picking up everything. I went to actually rub off some of these fingerprints a little bit, and this guy in the middle here says to me, I have a car you can detail. So I made sure to get his face in a shot, because you're at a public show, you paid to come, and you're making these kinds of comments. Like, it's a pretty senseless, immature, stupid sort of joke to make to somebody who's doing photography and obviously taking photos. Why would I be wiping fingerprints off the speaker? So he's like, yeah, I have a car you can detail, and I never responded. So I don't know who this guy is, but I just want to give him a little moment here because obviously he wanted some attention. True Voice of Reason says, by the way, Roland Orzabal is half of Tears for Fear. Oh, okay. TSO was an ill-fated drum and bass release, 9101, but I've been listening to it since 2000. Friends in England are great. Okay. Yeah. So now I know how to say that name, and that's something that I can look up later on. Cool. Yeah, I believe that this system was fantastic. Back at the second row of seating back from this system actually sounded fantastic. Absolutely amazing. And then the Scala Utopias with the musical fidelity in the back room. This was also a very amazing sounding system. See, this is only one. What was I going to say? I actually completely lost my thought right there. My brain saw this, and I was like completely thrown off. Anyways, oh yeah, this is only day one of my photos, and there's all of these shots already. Then the platinum speakers, the platinum 200s, amazing sounding speakers. A number of years in a row now, they won Best Sound of Show a couple years ago, and then this year as well, they had amazing projected sound. I mean, a lot of people were saying in my video content that they sounded a little bit scooped out, like not a lot of mid-range, where their high frequency is very predominant. But I mean, the phone that I'm recording with has a case over it, so the microphones are actually cupped a little bit. My hands over the microphone make it sound different. Where I was standing or recording the sound from was actually not in the sweet spot. And of course, my recordings are going to sound a little bit different. People also had the same thing to say about the audio by Mark Jones room. And then, of course, the recording is going to sound nothing like the real room. So it's one of these, like, what's the point of making the argument? I don't understand the reasoning for making the argument. That some of the points I understand, like, yeah, cool, it'd be nice if there was lots of stuff, but what are the factors and what are the reasons why it doesn't happen? You got to think about budgets and things like that. So with the sound and people criticizing the recording, and we're like, well, yes, of course the recording is going to be different. It's not like the room sounded like that. And then if it's just an opinion of, oh, what we were listening to sounded like the mid-range was different, then yeah, I get that part. But it won't sound the same for everyone because everybody's sense of hearing or preferences are different. So I'm an average salary and I'm saving money for a new pair of loudspeakers. I have purchased one component at a time. It takes years, but I'm almost there to the ultimate system. See, and there's a very civilized way to look at it. where if you're only making a certain amount of money, I'm only making a certain amount of money, and I think I have an amazing system right now. I'm doing other things with my life that are not monetary in order to afford me the opportunity to gain some of this gear that would be otherwise too expensive for me. It's outside of my budget if I wasn't working as hard as I am towards getting it. That's the real answer right here. Actually, just noticed your user photos, a photo of you and me at the show in front of this system. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you for following up to that conversation. Like, I understand that we don't always get to see or hear what we want. It would be nice if it was like all budget, but a lot of these brands don't make they can't put that much money into showcasing all of this stuff. But mind you, Kanto's been at a number of these shows. Emotiva's been at these shows. Audio Group Denmark has released a number of different products that are more budget oriented. And every year over year, these brands do bring lesser expensive items and objects and things that you can buy from each of the brands. Now, they don't all do that. Some of them go the other way. Some of them make even more expensive stuff because that's their clientele. You don't ask Lamborghini to make cheaper products, and you're not seeing Mazda Miatas at auto car shows, because that's not why you go to the show. You go to the show to see stuff that you can't afford because it's thrilling. Otherwise, you can browse online and look. Now, the one thing that I will say about audio is that, yes, in order to get a grasp or an understanding of like how the Diva Utopias sound, you have to go in person and listen. If they don't have dealers, like a lot of these companies that do direct to consumers, like Emotiva, like SVS, like any of these kinds of things, like it's Toronto Audiofest, let's just say. In this case, in this particular stream that I'm hosting, we're talking about a show that was hosted in Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Canada has to have almost 100 dealer locations in the GTA or within 2-hour travel. There has to be more than 100 dealers for all kinds of brands, whether it's budget or ridiculously expensive. If you want to buy something that's over $700,000, you can go to Audio Excellence, or you can go visit Angie up at American Sound up in Vaughan or Richmond Hill, north of Toronto. You can do that. If you want to buy a JBL Bluetooth speaker, you can go to Walmart. There's no debate about the availability. And to say that, like, oh, we need to see more of it at a show is kind of begging the question. It has to be why. Why would we really need to see it at a show when, like I said, at a Toronto Audio Fest show, within 2 hours of the city, there are more than 100 dealers with all kinds of places to demo this stuff. So that's why I push back and I get defensive when I see somebody say, oh, there should be more budget stuff at the show. It's already available everywhere. Why would you bother? I mean, if you're in the US somewhere and and you live somewhere in the middle of the country and you have no way to like demo some of these direct to consumer, like Arundel, they don't display anywhere. There's no showrooms. You don't have any friends that own them. Like, there are other options in life, unless you're, agoraphobic, in which case you need more than an audio show in your life. That's not the shows are not accommodating to everyone, which is a completely other debate. I mean, they're wheelchair access, but they're not going to cater to everyone's taste. It doesn't work like that. I didn't see everything I liked at this show. There's a lot of brands at this show that I didn't see. I barely saw anything from Sonus Faber, and they're one of my favorites. And I did own 2 of their lowest line recently, the Lumina series, made for budget. I didn't see them at the show at all, but I'm not complaining. There's no reason to complain. I was completely satisfied seeing stuff that was new, that was interesting, stuff that I can't afford, but I don't care that I can't afford it. I'm interested in the tech. So that is what I'm saving for. Speakers behind us. Yeah, And this was a great sounding system. These are the Scala Utopia system on the new Vista amplifier, or no, preamplifier, power supply, stereo amplifier, power supply, and I believe one of these was a phono stage with a power supply as well. Amazing sounding system. This is one of the best corners in the whole show. These Diva Utopias were actually amazing, and I spent a lot of time trying to capture the red finish inside the Diva Utopia. You can't really see it unless you're like right on top of it. So I spent some time trying to capture the rooms here. I mean, Ed and Michelle at EQ Audio are friends of mine now after the number of years I've spent with them at the shows and visiting them at the shop. And I try to bring as much advertising and footage and as best I can for their shop as possible. Not only for the point of advertising and showcasing some of the products. I mean, in my personal sort of goals, the reason why I do any of this is because I'm passionately interested in the technology. I don't care if I own it. It's not a goal for me to buy all this stuff, and I'm not complaining that I can't afford it. It's enough for me to go and see how it's made and see that other people enjoy it and challenge myself as a media person to capture the best content I can so that it's interesting for some people. Not everyone. There's no way that we're going to make everyone happy. That's impossible. I don't even try. The best that I can do is serve the ones that appreciate what I do the best and serve them the best kind of content that I can bring them. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna get to that comment in a second. I see your comment in there towards hang out for a bit, and thank you for being here and watching. I appreciate it. This was a very nice shot, and this shot is actually these from above. So I'm here. I'm near Philadelphia, but my wife found a place about an hour away that has a huge store with lots of vintage gear and physical media. That's cool. CDs and turntables and records. I love the idea of physical media. I was actually talking with Daniel from Audio Note UK about a new physical media type. He thinks it's a really cool idea. Of course, I'm not going to say it on a public live broadcast because I think that the idea has some weight to it. There's some merit to the idea, and it would need to be developed and patented before I released it publicly. I mean, I could have a partner, but right now I can't do it on my own. There's no way I could engineer it on my own. I can sell the idea, but I can't make the prototypes. Turntable store might be thinking a trip in December. See, this is another very sort of like outside the box thinking. If the shop is only an hour away, then you can make some plans to go and check it out. Like, absolutely. And this is what I was reacting to. Toys DIY just got finished with producing and making a video on the new HiPax Nelia or Naya amp module build by what was the kit manufacturer? You're gonna let me. I've seen it already. I like the video. I believed I even shared that video. I'm pretty sure it did. It's in my community post. I shared it. Yeah, anyways, it's a DIY Class D amp kit that's stereo, XLR, RCA input, has a trigger input, has a HiPax. Yeah, what was the company that sold the kit? It's up True Voice of Reason. I love that all my friends are in audio. You guys are awesome. I'm really, really glad that my friends are here to balance the chat section. You guys are what I live for. Yeah, so it's a DIY Class D, which is run by HiPax Modules. I can't remember how to spell the name. DIY Class D is the site, right? So it's DIY Class D on the chassis as well. Yeah, very, very good video. If you guys are interested and just want to support Toys DIY, then go watch that. Check that out. See from my post above. Still doing stuff. Cool. Thank you for you guys for being here. I just want to showcase a number of different things. This is new at the show. Access Audio from the Audio Group Denmark released a new power conditioner distribution block. So this will help reduce the noise in the system. This will pair very well with the Forte series that they released. A big fan of Access Audio. Again, an example of a brand that sells very, very expensive gear, where their highest end speakers are $580,000 US, I believe. And some of these amps here are, $7,000. So there is a way to do it. I mean, even on my budget, $7,000 is not out of the question. If I dedicate my efforts and I spend some time doing overtime or pick up an extra job, work maybe 2 jobs, 3 jobs, sell some stuff that I don't really need. Like, there's a way to achieve the things that you're passionate about. And if you're just sort of lazy, then of course life is going to get away from you. Win Audio obviously hosted the Borson Acoustics. Is Karan Audio. This is the oh my goodness, Vinny Rossi Brahma series preamp right here with a bunch of other gear. And these are the Tidal Audio speakers. I didn't catch the name of them. It's probably on the side of the speaker here. Does that say piano? So there's the name of that one. It's a good thing my camera can pick up all these details. Yeah, absolutely. I watch and support as many of my friends online as possible. It's not that I'm going to run out and get one of these kits. Of course, I'd love to do it, but I'm watching and supporting and sharing the way that phrase goes, right? Like, the tide rises all ships. And I feel like that's the kind of effort in the community that's sometimes missing. It's easy to say these things, and everybody's got like family and their kids and things they're doing. So it's like each and everyone will produce and post content of their own, but then oftentimes the idea of supporting each other slips through the cracks unless it's a very small circle. But of course I watch as many as I can. I'm built for it in the sense that I don't have that family and that extra sort of responsibilities to take care of. So I dedicate all of my time to audio. So need to finish watching that video. Been so busy getting ready for surgery. Well, good luck to you, sir. That's a very serious, important thing. I'm interested in why the power is so close to the binding posts in this one. Yeah, this is very interesting. In some of the amps, like the back of my Orchard audio amplifier, this is kind of similar. It's really, really close to the input because it's a very small chassis. So I don't know that this would be significant, but I think that because the one amp channel is on this side and the other amp channel is built on the other side for the heat sinking properties, this is probably put in a place that was outside of the main board inside, which is where all of these are surface mount. And then this, as you know, building a kit, it's just a bunch of leads that lead inside, and then the power is coupled into the board at another section. So maybe this is the only real estate that they had, and hopefully this is clear enough for bigger sized audio cables. I've never tested it. I may get one of these in to review and talk about at some point, but that's unknown at this point. I agree we should be supporting each other. Well, that's the goal. And I know that it's not always easy, but that's what support is. The truest support happens when it isn't easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be as meaningful. In my mind, like, being brave doesn't happen unless you have to be brave. Courage comes when you need to have courage. It's a moment where life or a situation challenges you, and then you step into that role. You can't be courageous just sitting around talking about it. You need to act like it. So I agree with this. We should be supporting each other. That's the way this community is going to grow and learn. And it's the same thing with the idea of community and commenting, where I strongly believe that the vast majority of what we now refer to as haters in the comments get away with it because there's not a lot of pushback. Now, I hate to sidebar, but a lot of that happens because these channels are built on support. And if we shun or deny or push away all the haters, then it's almost like some of the views and comments would go down, which is counterproductive to a streaming platform that benefits from traffic. I don't know that it's worth it. It's not worth it on my channel. I will very quickly block and ban people who are being irritating, because I believe that building an environment for a community that feels welcoming and less irritating by people who cause disruption is better for the community. I don't have a problem putting out or defending or putting a challenge up against those who would otherwise rock the boat, so to speak, if we're going to live on this metaphor. I do push back. I have a reason for it. Stop by the forum. Okay, this is not meant to be all out here, but the response is there. All right, we're doing live conversations on all angles, and I'm still trying to go through my photo scroll here. So the C1 bookshelves, Boris and Acoustics, absolutely amazing. Arguably a purchase I would make over the X6 towers. Hear me out. The X6 towers are phenomenal. They have a lot of performance benefit, but I believe that the build quality, the driver quality, the crossover component, and the tweeter in the C1 at a price point that's lower than the X6 might be a better purchase when paired with subwoofers in a room. The X6 require a lot of space. They have to be wide. They're a very deep cabinet. The C1 is likely an easier to place speaker, and I would arguably say that you can get a better performance out of the C1s and subs than you could from large towers. I am steadily leaning towards this combination in my HiFi rather than large towers, even though aesthetically large towers still appeal to me. This, as True Voice of Reason says, that nice zebra wood on that last speaker. Yeah. Tidal Audio, a German brand, they don't half-ass anything, really. They're really solid. I love what they do. A lot of the speakers that have been shown in these rooms, the Akira model, for one, much higher than this one, is a phenomenal speaker. It's very expensive, but the engineering and what you're getting out of it is a combination of aesthetics, performance, overall quality. Your customer service is going to be fantastic when you're paying that kind of money. It's way out of my range. I probably will never own them, but I can appreciate the fact that they exist. Some more shots of the C1 here. There is a real carbon fiber insert on the side. You can see a little bit of it here. One of my later shots will showcase more. This is the new Avic Electronics integrated streaming amp. It's got trickle-down technology from their higher end. This is the U188 that's on display with the C1s. Built-in streamer, built-in, you have RCA inputs. It's got all kinds of noise reduction technology built in. A fully enclosed copper casing. There's 4 millimeters of copper casing on all sides, top and bottom, titanium plating on top and bottom, vibration control all the way around. The most amazing knob feel you've ever felt. This is completely smooth, solid bearing, like rotates, no clicks, just digital. Amazing feel. I almost and did joke around with them to say that if you could make this on a Bluetooth remote where you can just hold the remote and turn the volume from somewhere else, that would be incredible. Maybe they'll make it. I don't know. Playing with some shading here. That background is so bright that I couldn't get a very clear angle this day, so I was playing around with some stuff. Audio Note UK is one of the most musical and enjoyable rooms. True Voice of Reason Akira model, is it red? Yeah, from the video game. I don't know what kind of association it has because they are a German brand, so I don't know that it has an association to the Akira video game. Knob feel, that's what she said. Yeah, and it was the best, let me tell you. Now, the Akira model is It's very, very nice. I've got photos of it, but it would be hard for me to look them up right now. So a number of photos here with Audio Note UK. Very musical sounding speaker. Someone had commented on one of the videos and said that they're ridiculously overpriced for a colored speaker, that, you know, it's got thin cabinet walls and it's like corner loaded, and you know what I mean? Like typical sort of like critical feedback of a speaker from their perspective. They don't like any of it because of some of these things. To be honest with you, a speaker that's got 98 dB sensitivity, and some of these models have field coil drivers, they sound and perform better than a lot of other stuff. Regardless of those comments. I mean, if your speaker's made of wood, it resonates. All of them resonate somewhat. Aora Acoustics is one of those brands where it's got almost no resonance, but they're using granite. And again, probably more expensive than that person can afford to buy anyways. So it's like criticizing something you can't afford, maybe because you can't afford it, not because it's a good point. Rubicore was also shown at the show this year. Absolutely great sounding. I got a video clip of these as well. I used the reflection on the top here to showcase the name of the product. This one more clearly. And they were saying that these are notoriously hard to photograph because you can't get the wood grain in the shot. And I said, well, challenge accepted, and did my best to capture the wood grain in the photo. Curved front baffle inserts with the drivers. You can see that they're curved here. Super tweeter, mid-range. I believe these are mid-range crossed over and then bass only. So four-way design, 1, 2, 3.5. Perhaps. It's all on the website. I don't have all of the details here to share. So lots of carpet reflection, and then I just try to get more and more of the beautiful sort of color. It's a lot darker here than it would be in normal lighting, but I did my best to make it look pretty. So there you go. Roxanne model, I slipped that tag underneath to get the name of it in the series, and of course I put my watermark in front of it. Price in there as well. Caspian series, that's the 4G, so that's an integrated Bluetooth streaming model. So your photos show more than my eyes looking in person. I don't remember seeing those colors like this. It's interesting because I actually used to use my phone and camera to see stuff about products, like in quality control, because the camera can pick up certain contrast, certain angles, certain details into certain locations where your eyes can't pick it up. So I use my phone a lot in this perspective. Yeah, they look more like this. This is the more natural color. So this is very colored based on my phone and my filters, and this is more natural. Just to get the brands in the background. Yeah, and this shot was using my filter, but then also got the NAD and then both brands and the reflection across the top of the photo. Bookshelf models. I feel like I'm taking a little while long here. Again, natural sort of finish across the front. The new blue sound nodes. These are the updated models. Oh my goodness, I'm scrolling too fast. So I only got a couple of shots of these. Didn't listen to them. Just something that was new that was there. Moving on to coherent audio. These are absolutely stunning to listen to. Very powerful sound, very clear. Compression driver, coaxial in the middle. Coherent Model 15 Thunder Dragon, I guess is what they're called. So that's amazing. And then this really, really cool, I believe it's a Rega turntable, floating carbon fiber turntable. I've never seen anything like it. So I was taking all kinds of angles of this turntable. It was so new to me. I've never seen anything like it. So I went all in and captured all these angles. Couldn't believe it. It's like floating and then suspended and then vibration isolated. Absolutely amazing. And there you go. Some of the information on it. So this Naiad, Naiad turntable and the Phono Priest. So there you go. It's a $69,000 turntable. Talk about not being able to afford it. But if that's what you're looking for in life, then someone makes it for you. I'm sure they don't sell a lot, but they're there. These are new speakers from Coherent Audio. Apparently you just finished it on the Thursday before the show. What an amazing show of skill and, willingness to showcase a new product. Gigantic JBL horns. Apparently these are 4-inch compression horns. External crossovers, 18-inch woofer. Amazing. Thank you for coming and joining and supporting. Thank you for being here. Hopefully the rest of your evening is well. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let's scroll through some more. The Altitudo audio rooms. I got a number of videos of these. The new SVS subwoofers, you can tell because there's no cutout here. So this is a new cutaway. New ELAC bookshelves. Amazing. I got some demos of these on my channel. The new Marantz amp, which is phenomenal. I got to hear them on the Bowers & Wilkins speakers. There is a video clip of that as well. First time seeing them in black. Very, very nice looking in black. And these are amazingly engineered. I know that they're expensive. I know they're in the $12,000 to $15,000 range US or whatever the prices are. But the amount of engineering and the quality that went into making these for what they are is phenomenal. Specially engineered Purify amplifier modules, 3 power supplies inside the chassis, dual monoblock design inside, separate power supply for the preamp section. Absolutely amazing stuff. If not for the price, again, I'm passionate about the technology and bringing it to the community. And I think for what it is as a reference, it's truly amazing. Something to definitely watch out for. The Link 10, which is a DAC USB streamer. And then in the opposite corner, there was this SACD player, which was not connected. The MoFi 888s in Vinyl Sound Room. I got to see my friend Rich in this room. Got a number of different photos here with the wood grain. Had some fun there. New MoFi turntable. Diptyque Audio was an amazing demo. I have that on my channel as well. I got to see Jonathan from Sonic Artistry in this room. We did a demo song that was really interesting. It was more EDM than anything else. And maybe I can actually play that. Play my own video. Can I play my own video on my channel? Can I do that? Let me see. I'm going to look that up. I need to step away from the stream to handle a calling, and I'm going to use my own video to fill in some of that time. Let me see. Here's that clip. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing screen, and then I'm going to go and share this one also with the audio. So let me shrink that down and then bring this on. All right. So here's the demo of the Diptyque Audio. I'm going to just play a little bit of this. Again, like I said, I have to step away from the stream, but instead of just leaving it as dead air or bad production, I'm going to play the demo and then come back in a little bit. Yes, that's the way we're going to do this. All right. So enjoy the demo for a couple of minutes, and I will be back in just a minute. This is just the way nature works. I have no control over it. And yes, we'll do this demo this way. Very interesting demo, right? Now, I find the most interesting thing about this demo is the fact that there's no subwoofers in the room, but the bass was still able to fill this room to a certain frequency very, very well. They're a planar magnetic. I believe they're a planar magnetic panel. They're not electrostatic, so it's just amplifier power, and they have incredible range. So I think that's like super, super interesting, and I enjoyed that demo quite a bit. So let me just get back to sharing the photos window. This one. All right, so there we go. Now we're back. Appreciate your patience and understanding that moment. Pretty good. It looks like Cora amplifiers, gigantic power supply inside. Very nice use of glass paneling. I appreciate that look. Let's see. Let's get through some of these a little faster, shall we? If anybody's got questions in the chat, now's the time. Be very nice. These are Karma speakers now being sold through my local distributor. So this was nice to see at the show. This is an edition this year. So this is the first time they're showing them. Advanced Paris as well, showcased in a number of places. Some of them not necessarily hooked up. Not all products were hooked up to listen to, but some of them were just on hand to have a look at like part of the show, part of the store display, that kind of thing. Fine audio here. Some of them with a super tweeter on the top I thought was incredible. Think Audio, I believe. That's Audio Connection. All their price lists for the show. So this one really interesting thing. Oh, if I can I turn this? So one interesting thing about it is sometimes they will have show pricing, special show pricing. So if you do show up at the show, you can either purchase something there or you can purchase something at a discount at the show for that reason. So I think it's a really good opportunity for people to come out and find like a better price on some things. Again, with Altitudo Audio, I got a number of demos of the Gold Note speakers. Never heard the Audio Physics speakers in this room. I did hear the OFI, OEPHI is the name brand. I did get to hear a demo of these. That's also on my YouTube channel if you're interested. What I found about these is either their position or their balance in the room was a little off. They have an amazing sounding tweeter, but I think that the tweeter is either requires a different positioning, maybe a pairing with the equipment, but it was very, very much forward sounding. So there may be some other balancing or something else that may be done to balance that sound out. From my experience with them at the show, they were a little bit forward or hot. Maybe a couple of dBs down would be better. Maybe toe out to the room. Not really sure. Great turntable. Can't even remember where this was. Actually, I believe this is an Oracle turntable. Probably in the Gershman Acoustics room that was down on the second floor. I'd never seen these in black before, and they look absolutely amazing. Eon Art, as always, in the same room. Great pairing to this gear. I did get an opportunity to photograph them with and without the grills. So here's without the grills in black, and here's with the grills in black. I think that's actually a really nice combination. Special colored Gaia acoustic or isoacoustic Gaia feet. These are the rose gold finish for these swan speakers, black swan speakers. Really cool. Sound sound panels at the back of the room. Somebody, our friend Larry said those damn termites. I mean, if you could get termites to make a pattern like this look that great, those are some pretty high paid termites. That's a nice combo for sure. They do look with the grills. Yeah, they do. This is really nice, this combination. PS Audio was in the house. Kimber Cable. I believe this was also one of the rooms. Audio Excellence did a video of unboxing these speakers in that room. Motet Acuphase. So Acuphase is also with Audio Excellence. Kimber, as always, a number of my classic sort of shots. Again, I don't find that they're the best photography. That one certainly wasn't any good. This one's a little bit better, but the green tape on the floor is annoying. And then, of course, my watermark ruins the brand name. I have to do that. If people want these photos, then they can contact me and ask me for them. I can give them the full res photo that has different editing, and then they can pay for it. That's the reason why there's a watermark. The watermark, if the watermark is preventing people from posting it, then that really says that, obviously they would do it if it was free, but they're not willing to actually pay and support people who are doing some of the hard work. So you get this giant annoying watermark over the photos because, I don't want people using the work or taking advantage of my free work for nothing. I would rather be supported. That's the reason why I do it. And I make it more annoying because inevitably year over year, somebody ends up stealing my images. Go figure. They don't want to pay for it. They want to use it for free. Or trying out different resolutions. These speakers are something else. I need to wait to get an up close and personal listen on these. I did have fun listening to them at the show. I didn't really get a sweet spot of them, which is kind of sad, but I was really busy. So I didn't get what I think would be a fair listen to them, but they were really good when I heard them at any other moment. And there's the red on the grill that I was talking about. It's a pretty awesome shot straight down. So that's day one. Let me just close this. Close that one. Okay. And then share day two. Window. Hold on a second. This is day three. This one's day two. I'm sorry. I'm doing my production in real time here. All right. Let's see if I can present those. Share screen. Windows. This one's day two. All right. So this one's day two. Let's scroll through this one rather quickly. We're already at an hour and a half. Is everybody still awake out there? I don't see as much entertainment or as much engagement in the chat. I guess a lot of people are just enjoying the show, which is fair. And I don't mind that people are quiet and sitting back and enjoying it. I'm trying to keep up my conversation and be relevant to what we're talking about and showing here. So hopefully it's of value to everyone. This is one of the problems with having a lit up background is it totally blows out the shot. I can make this look nice, but in order to get this, it ends up being grainy because of the contrast. Now, that's on my phone. I'm only shooting with my phone for photography at this point, but it's obviously very capable of capturing some good images like you can see here in the right locations, given the right settings, and if I have time. Not everything turns out this great. I knew what I was shooting for in this case because I own the amplifiers. It's not always possible, however. Gishelli Labs represented here at Pasta's Pasta Audio Princess or Princess Pasta Audio, however you want to say it. It's actually really nice to meet with her and talk about audio for a bit and get some shots of these great brands. I mean, Gishelli Labs are great people and they make some really awesome, cheap and affordable products, or I wouldn't say cheap, but more affordable products for those discerning people. So this was at the show for those who are looking for more budget options. Orchard Audio is also much cheaper than a lot of higher end models if you're willing to go that way. So I have them. I own Orchard Audio. They're really, really good. It's more of like a promo shot there, trying some magic. And then, of course, these cables. I can't remember the name of the cables now, though. And we specifically talked about the cable name brand. All right. It escapes me now. So the name brand is here. So this is Dead Alice. Dead Alice. speaker, Elite. So I guess that's the name brand there. So there you go. Then the whole room of prices is there. And then these new sort of like collaborative headphones with, I don't know the other name, but Zeos and this brand collaborated for these new headphones. So that was cool that they were on display. A little bit of promo for him, as always. Lots of shots. Another shot across the other amplifier for the logo, which is really cool because it's machined right into the top of the chassis. It's really nice. Actually, I feel like if I had the opportunity to upgrade my amplifiers from the Star Crimson premium mono, I would move to the Ultra with the linear power supply. It's more power. There's going to be more grip on the bass, more headroom, more capacitance for dynamic swing. I think that would be amazing. The amp stands that I have now would support these new models. So I have to see if there's an upgrade path available for me. The Trapeze model by Audio Vector. This is one of the first times that I got to see them and hear them. So it was really cool to hang out with the guys from Kennedy HiFi, Marcus and his crew. It's very cool to see Fez Audio, and this is Ever Solo down here. A lot of the classic sort of audiophile songs are being played in this room. I wish I was able, actually did get a clip of something a little bit different. That's also available online. Although it wasn't really up to volume, if I'm honest, I would have preferred it being a little bit louder. So there's a shot of the Holiday Inn from the 3rd floor or 4th floor, because this is on 4. And that's the other location that's across the parking lot from the Westin Hotel. This is a neat shot of the isoacoustic platform that's part of the Sonus Faber Suprema towers, which not a lot of people know or talk about. The isoacoustics were built into the module and the base for the Suprema models, and hardly anybody mentions them at any show or any review or any showcase. And I think that it deserved its own sort of attention. So I wanted to capture the whole platform there to show. Also, it's a gigantic platform, and the whole tower supported by those, looks like 5 modules. Really, really cool stuff. I was absolutely thrilled to see that they had even part of this speaker there. There's Giles McCoy in the background doing his Gaia Acoustics and isoacoustics demo. I wanted to get like a behind the scenes, so captured a number of photos here. Something fun for the behind the scenes. You know how it is. We're all friends. So this is goldaudio.canada or /Canada. It's a new brand. 5 years in the making. This is the first time I've ever seen them. There was a Audiophile Junkie video on these guys. First time hearing them. Really interesting sort of designs. So these are like isolated platforms and modules, bass in their own sort of like rack and stands. I think it's a super, super cool design. Need to get some more airtime with these. First time seeing them. Try to get a number of nice shots there. Yeah, so that's Gold Audio Canada. Need to scroll through some of these. We're going to be here for 2 hours if I'm not careful. There's Mr. Robert from Stereophile and PMA editor capturing some of the in-room stuff. I just snuck up and snapped the shot. A little bit cheeky, I know. Chroma Audio with the Purify drivers. Amazing system. Nagra, Pilium electronics there, CD player, power supplies, maybe even a preamp, I'm not sure. Power amps on the floor, hosted by Bliss Acoustics. Amazing room. Phenomenal speakers. Like, I mean, you would imagine for that kind of price. A little bit of an odd room, though, because it does overhang the driveway of the hotel, and I've heard that that's really difficult, but these have the isoacoustic pucks on them, so that would eliminate some of that vibration in the floor. So, you know, audiophiles just curious about how they're connected. what cables they're using. Can't help it. And at every show you see people looking at gear like that. The Burmisters, I believe one of my favorite shots is oh no, it's not here. I didn't watermark it. I didn't watermark it because it's one of my favorite shots ever, and I don't really want it out there. The Chroma, yeah, the Chroma audio speakers. These were really nice. I mean, it's a very, very expensive system too. So speaking of people looking at audio, I absolutely had to capture this. I don't know who they are. I didn't tell them. They're young. So, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. But everything that they're looking at on the back of the speaker is available on the webpage. So there's no need to do this at a show, especially when you could like knock something out, bump into something, you could lose your balance. I don't know why people have to do this, knowing that all of this information they're looking at is on the webpage to look at, to understand, to know. So looking at it in person has to give people more confidence. I don't quite understand. But anytime I see it, I capture it because I think it's hilarious. It's EQ Audio Space. That's the parking lot out the back window. I don't know what I was thinking for this one. Yes, it's like a cover shot. Ellipson and Supervox, these were really cool. They look like a giant white helmet. I don't know what to say about them, but they were really good. I got an audio demo of these as well. Also of this room, the Charisma Audio room, the brand new speakers. They were designed for Charisma Audio. I think they were amazing. They're playing tracks on the reel to reel. These reel to reels. So yeah, I have a demo of these. Sound demo of the speakers. I thought they were so cool. I wanted to capture more. It's a totally curved faceplate, rounded grill cover, angled cabinet. Like there's so much engineering into the cabinet. Look at this. One of the rarest looking cabinets, best design that I've ever seen. Curved baffle, radiated everywhere, great finish, really cool drivers too. That's like a long fiber graphene cone. I'm not even sure who makes that driver. I've seen something about it. I could be wrong, but these were really nice. Tidal Audio in, I think that's Briscasti design. Really nice looking amps. Really solid. There's a better photo of the Tidal. Higher resolution. I started practicing a little bit more of high resolution with my camera to see what I can capture, and it definitely gives me better images at low lighting, so I have to play around a little bit more. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't think that a lot of these are my favorite shots, but I was experimenting more to see what I can see, how much more I can do with my phone before I have to graduate to an actual camera with the lens and DSLR kind of way. I think most of them turned out really nice, but I can see where my limitations are now. Low lighting is definitely difficult to capture. I have a sound demo of this room as well, Harbeth Audio at Audio Eden. The Essentia distributor with its Q Acoustics all across the front had a nice time there. A new turntable, again with the coherent audio, great shots. I needed to go back and check these out. Cabas Audio had their Pearl system, their Keshi Pearl Keshi system, which is the tiny black speaker on the top you see, and the subwoofer on the floor. So the subwoofer is the power, and the little module on the sides like a coaxial driver. Unbelievable amount of sound power coming out of this system for an all-in-one. This is really, really great. Could not believe it. It was really interesting. More of the Tidal downstairs with Win Audio and the phonoacoustic cables. The Quran Audio, close-up of the Vinny Rossi Brahma preamp. Some interesting shots here at the end of the day. On the Saturday, I caught the sunshine coming through the window at about 5:30. So I sat there for maybe 15 minutes, tried to line up the shot down the hallway, trying to capture different things. Some of the interesting shots that will come up here captured people playing around. There's Ian from Focal, North America, just, being friends, making some jokes in the window. But yeah, I wanted to capture this shot through the window. I thought it was pretty interesting. Everyone hanging around listening to the demo room at the back, promo shot for EQ. And then I captured Bose audio outside on my way home. I thought that was pretty cheeky. So that's all for day 2. Let me jump to day 3. We'll get through this all together here. So this is day 3. I wanted to start with Nirvana so I didn't miss anything. Should we scroll up here? There we go. Okay, so I went in to visit Orchard Audio, capture some of their Pecan Pie streamers with the headphone table. A number of different angles until I got the right one, of course. Giselli Labs, again, their headphone amp, and I believe that's a Sparkos modified R-Chill Pro, which I believe is one of their newest headphone amps. It's got some bass and treble controls, input control, tone control, all that kind of stuff. Really nice unit. Some other promo shots. I wanted to capture people actually listening and having fun at the Nirvana event. So I went in early, tried to capture some things, went back in the middle of the day, tried to capture some things. Custom 3D printed stands for the The Audio. Through the glass, it was a little bit difficult to capture, so I started opening the door, started moving them around, trying to get some interesting angles on the IEMs. These are pretty expensive, but they're also really great. And I wanted to capture this one where you can actually see the EQ Audio logo back through the stand and the product in the shot. So I started playing around. It's a little more experimental this time around with my shots, even though they're not what I would consider perfect. Again, I took this opportunity this year and wanted to see what I was capable of, what I could come up with. So they're not all the best, but to me, I found it like a lot of good practice and was still able to advertise and bring in some interesting shots. Audis, audio, headphone stands, really good setup. So this is a recording that I got, which is also on my channel, of one of the song demos. You can check that out. And then each of these videos are different quality, different microphones, so they're actually going to sound different from videos that I capture with my phone. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go back and capture more video. Here's Audiophile Junkie getting the ISO Acoustics demo. So in the background of his video from Toronto Audio Fest, I was there to capture some of the background. So that's sort of how the video was done. This is Altitudo Audio, the amplifiers across the floor. That's the Simply 845. And then Von Schweikart Audio with North Star Distribution. That's their new dealer for Von Schweikart, which is awesome. It's nice to see them. Always good to catch up with Damon. He's a great dude. Then this is one of my best shots from the show. My typical sort of across the floor shot. I really like this one. I think it lined up very well. It looks really good. Colors are nice and balanced. The X6 in the EQ audio room, another one of my absolute favorite speakers. Sounding, looking, all that kind of stuff. Great price, 30,000 Canadian for a pair. You can't go wrong. They're such an amazing speaker that beat out so many that are in the 80 to 100,000 range. It's incredible the kind of tech you get from these speakers and performance. So definitely something to look at if you can have if you have the space for them. They're available black and white, of course, but yeah, they're a big speaker, 174 pounds each. Monstrous. I'd still love to have them, but yeah, it's still a lot of money. The Forte 3 in the EQ audio room. The Divas, of course, I try to get as many shots as possible. Audio Note Acoustic, Audio Note UK. Wanted to capture a number of different shots here of their system. Something a little clever. Now, this is a little figurine that Vincent brings to his cello performances and his Audio Note rooms everywhere. It's in almost all of them. It's been in every room since I've known him for the last 4 years. I think it's incredible that it's there. So this year I saw it and wanted to capture it in a new way. So I did a number of these shots trying to capture that figure with the open chassis of the Audio Note UK amplifier, integrated amplifier. It's just something creative rather than my typical, this is one of those examples where I was trying to do something interesting rather than making it a great shot, not the best quality, but something interesting. And I don't know, you tell me what you think. Is this worthwhile of the time, or is it too artistic for audio? Is it not showing something that's important? I don't know. I'm not really sure. It interests me, but I can't predict how everybody else is going to interpret this stuff. So again, audio by Mark Jones, better quality. So there's a difference between a regular sort of shot with my camera, if you can tell in 720p on YouTube, and this one. Color's better. This one's way sharper. This one's blurrier, more grain. I know that it's YouTube and it's compressed, but there is a difference in the photo quality. Again, speaks to the idea that I was experimenting more than capturing the best I could. With this shot, I thought, okay, well, that's really interesting. But what if I lined up the banner with the tower so then it's like outlined a little bit? I think that's a little cheesy, but I don't know, just something clever. Again, I was playing around a little bit more. These are maybe some of the first time that many people will have seen these. I need to give a moment here. This is special. These are potential new Aora Acoustics models. Bookshelf, tower. There's no pricing on them. There's no details on them other than what you can see from the cabinet. They were demoed and displayed most of Sunday, the later part of Sunday. So if you were there on Friday and Saturday, you didn't get to see these or hear these at all because they were in the private section in the back of the room. They did have their own system. They did play them. I do have some demos of these, but I don't think they're posted yet. Those are going to be posted eventually. Absolutely stunning sound. I believe these are going to be a lower price tier. I don't know what price, but they were absolutely phenomenal. They're Acouton drivers with the granite marble cabinet, obviously Aora Acoustics crossovers and engineering, but they are new. They are probably going to be out in the new year. I don't have a lot of specific detail about these. They only showed the 2 models. I believe there might be more. Don't quote me. Again, these are really new, like pre-production. They just had models ready, and Val got excited on Sunday and then just started playing and showing them. So some of us were lucky enough to hear them. Mirage Bryson says, I heard the little ones and I was blown away. Yeah, they're really, really special. I think these are going to be, like, if people are already fans of Aora Acoustics and they get their ears on these, I think Audiophile Junkie had a little bit of a clip of these. They were, end of the day on Sunday, I think he was in the room when they were actually tearing it down, so he didn't get really much of a sound demo. But yeah, these are going to be really awesome, something to look out for. So I think that people that are going to Capital Audiofest might really, really enjoy these. Hey man, Suwat's here. What's up, bruh? Doing the photo thing. Yeah, I'm still live doing what I can do. It's been an hour and 40 now. I should get this tied up. This is day 3 I'm scrolling through. So I went back to EQ Audio headphone side, try to capture some of their magic. And I captured this moment here where Michelle's showing off and helping a client or an attendee with some of the headphones and wanted to check them out. So I was being a photo sniper and hanging out in the back, trying to capture these moments. I think this guy's either really, really feeling the music or he's really depressed at how much money he's about to spend. I couldn't tell. So this was really cool because it was a moment where this gentleman wanted to find out how the IEMs fit inside of a bike helmet. Now, I don't even know if this is legal here in Canada. I didn't think it was legal, but hey, you know, you want to find out if they fit, then go for it. Anyways, it was an interesting moment. I'd never seen this before, and I was happy to be there and capture it. So this was the point of having the seats. People can come in and listen to their own headphones, listen to whichever model that was displayed. They had the option of swapping out. You could sit and listen your own device. People really into it there. Lots of conversation about headphones and products at the EQ space. Here's the Irvana space where they had a lot of the different vendors set up all the way around the outside. I have a video coming up of this whole space. Special Opal Audio, it's a headphone manufacturer who's local, who's using local made amplifiers. He makes all the headphones himself. So it's a very, very poorly shot video, but it's a video of that nonetheless. I'll be able to show that soon. The Focal Divas, a number of shots. Some of the demos that I captured there are posted. It's actually one of my subscribers here that I met at the show. So that was a lot of fun. I did meet a number of people who followed the channel. So that's fantastic to see. I'm glad that I'm able to connect with fans that way. This is the 05, the Borson Acoustic 05 models. Now, I had never seen these in person before, and I was so glad that Win Audio and Audio Group Denmark chose to bring this model here for me to see. Not for me, but for everybody to see. But I had never seen them before, so I needed to capture a number of photos of them, just something that had looked better, something I could line up and something like that. It's not in focus at the top, which I think if I was spending more time getting my photos more accurate, I would have spent more time getting the focus point at the top rather than the bottom. However, I still think that's a nice shot. Mirror finish on the top. This one as well. I think this one turned out much, much better. It's an older model. It's actually one of their flagship models that they came out with almost 6 years ago, which is about as long as I've known of the brand. I got introduced to them maybe 5 years ago when they were featured on AV Showroom's channel online. So yeah, it was actually really, really nice to see. And that's how I got introduced to Borson Acoustics in the first place. So to see them here at the show, I was really thrilled. Never did hear them, but I did get to see them. Some more shots of the C1, that carbon fiber panel on the side. These are really nice. I'm trying a bunch of different shots of my photography. This one turned out really well. I think this is one of my favorite of the C1. Great detail. High resolution. The contrast of these lines going vertical and the carbon fiber worked out well, where you can't see it really, but on this side, you see how this is a pleated wall. So these vertical lines ended up in a reflection on the side here. It's actually kind of cool. Almost done for the night. So if anybody has questions, wants to know anything about this, I only have a couple of other things to share. Then we'll get out of here. I actually have some videos coming out tomorrow of the speakers I have in the room, and I will talk about all of that stuff at a later time. More shots of the X6 demo, the room always full. Amazing, amazing sound in the sweet spot. Honestly, some of the best at the show, if you got the right spot. If you're sitting in another spot, they're not quite that good off of the sweet spot. I don't know why. It could have been some of the setup, the panels, the width. I have no idea. I know they did their best to set them up. But in my opinion, honestly, at the show, being in the sweet spot locks everything in beyond a dream. Now, I got this at the end of the show. I saw this guy just absolutely passed out at the back at the end of the show. I thought it was the most hilarious thing. That's what you want to feel like after the show. Like the show was just so good, you need to take a nap. So that's amazing. I appreciate you all for being here and showing support. I don't have a whole lot to showcase other than this. I wanted to bring up I I didn't go and check, to be honest. I really didn't. Let me see. Chrome tabs. Let's showcase. I want to showcase a little bit of these. Let me bring this into the fold. Let me make this smaller. So here, I want to showcase a little bit of these because I have them, and I have them at home, and I will be demoing them. I have a number of sound clips already, but these are the Radiant Acoustic Clarity 6.2s. I do have them in-house. They sent them to me without any expectations of review, no instruction on what to say, no expectations on whether I'm making anything or not. They quite honestly just sent them to me because I've been enthusiastic about the Purify brand for many years. I've talked about the technology year over year, tried to explain that the surround is not broken. There's nothing wrong with it, despite how everybody says something about it. And the brand owners, Lars Risbo with Purify, we have been friends on Facebook for a while. I've been connected to some of the engineers because, again, I'm passionate about the technology in general. I'm not here for the clout. I'm not here for popularity. I'm not here for clicks and views and subscriber count. I'm not here because I love being on camera and I want people to pay attention to me because I'm important. That's not why I'm here. I'm not trying to be a public figure. I'm not trying to get popular and famous. God, I'm not even trying to make any money. I wouldn't be doing some of these things if I was. I am here because I'm passionately interested in what this technology means, how they're engineering this stuff, what it actually sounds like. And for that reason, the company and their, I guess their co-owners thought that how I'm doing things or how I'm expressing enthusiasm was worth rewarding. And that's how I came up this pair. Just showing genuine support and interest got a reward. So that's honestly the transparency on how I got the models. I have them in my room. I've posted them on YouTube before, and Monday there will be 3 clips with sound talking about them. One of them is going to be a comparison. So you know what to do. Follow the channel. I'm not above asking for follows now. A lot of amazing technology with Radiant Acoustics. Go online. You can check it all out. There's a number of different videos with Lars and Peter Lingdorf. If you don't know who Peter Lingdorf is, please find out. Was responsible for Dolly Audio and a number of different Danish brands. So here's the interesting thing. I want to talk about some of the specs because I have a 3-way comparison to do. Pardon me for a second. So the 3-way comparison is between the Radiant acoustic speakers, the KEF R3 speakers. So here's some of the specs. In room 58 to 28, the Radiant Acoustics is 35 to 20. So that's really interesting. 35 hertz from a bookshelf, 2 passive radiators and Purify 6.5. The KEF is a 6.5, but you know, their minus 6 dB is 38, where their minus 3 dB in the Radiant is 35. So obviously the Radiant Acoustics can dig deep, and there's a reason for that because Purify drivers are fucking awesome. Yes, YouTube, I swore. The KEF is 87 dB sensitive, where the Radiant is only 85. I'm switching back and forth here rather annoyingly and quickly. So that's a big difference. In my comparison, I noticed that. The other speaker that I have, yes, it's the R3 Meta. So it is the R3 Meta that I have. And this data is the R3 Meta, see? So I'm not I am looking at the right specs just for clarity, and thank you for asking. So yeah, it is the R3 Meta. They do sound really great. I've had them in my other system now for a little while. I watch them on my computer system. They have really, really good imaging and sound staging, and that coaxial really, really benefits those things 100%. My comparison is a little bit unfair where I'm also comparing them to the SVS Ultra Evolution speaker, which is one of the only other higher quality bookshelf speakers that I have. Now, if people are interested in budget and they want something that's more affordable, the reason why I'm doing the comparison is for those people. I'll put the SVS and the KEF and the Radiant Acoustics all side by side in a comparison with the same song as best as I can so that you can scroll through the video and get an understanding of what they're all about. All the specs are on the webpage. I don't like providing all the information over and over and over again. It's a lot of work on my end or on a creator's side when all of the information is on the website. If anybody's interested in these things, you can check the websites and look at the manufacturer's recommended use, setup, all of the specs, whatever they require. Like, those manufacturers already do that hard work. Turning to reviewers and content creators on YouTube to get all this information, to be honest, is rather foolish. I mean, a lot of these brands do the hard work for us. They make manuals for every product. They make online downloadable books and information for everyone. Where you should be getting your questions answered is from the brands. YouTube creators are like third-party observers. I don't know why they're sought after and trusted more than the brands themselves, why the brands are biased and lying to you. Does that mean that YouTube channel creators are not lying to you? I don't know. I mean, we'd like to hope they're not, but I think that the brands and the ones that are engineering this stuff are going to have the answers more than I would. So I'm not going to write it down, and I'm not going to tell you a lot of information about it because, to be honest, I think that they already did the hard work. And personally, I don't like doing hard work for less efficient means. It's already there. Why would I do it myself? If I was going to do anything, I would just copy and paste it into my videos. But then what's the point? It's already there. Go look it up. Yeah, I'm one of those like teach a man to fish kind of people. That's really how I do it. So having said that, we're approaching our 2-hour mark, and I really hope that song I played in the middle is not going to get the whole video demonetized. Look, I appreciate everybody being here. I know that I had a conversation a little bit earlier about why shows don't have budget speakers and everything is really expensive. Of course it is, because, those brands sell stuff that affords them the room. More budget brands don't sell as much, so they don't have the margins in order to run a room. But then also, like I said, in an area like Toronto, Canada, we have more than 100 dealers within 2 hours of the city, 3 hours maybe. And you can drive and visit any of them at any time all year long to check out all of the budget stuff possible. So maybe that's why they're not at an audio show. You can already drive everywhere to listen to them. That would be my honest answer of why that question is there. So settling that, like I said, I welcome a lot of feedback and questions as long as it's really, thought out or genuine and it's not digging for something. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to respect the process, respect the creation, respect the time and effort. There's no reason to provoke in response. I know that freedom of speech is a real thing. You could do that, but I'd rather not get into it. So I'm glad to see Sawat here. Thank you for joining. Mirage Bryson for being here. True Voice of Reason. I hope everything goes well with you. For everybody else that watched and joined today, I hope that it was entertaining to watch. If you're just watching me to collect information for later, good luck with that. I'm sure that it's been entertaining. For any brands, for any companies, for any of my friends, those who reciprocate a relation with me and see that what I've done or what I do is of value, I appreciate you. I continue to seek relation and reciprocative efforts with you. I'm sure that the future will hold many things, and I am interested in pursuing any or all of them. I'm not that hard to find. I've got many ways to find my media and my contact online. So please reach out at any time. Any of my friends that are local, any of my brands or distributors that are local. I'd love to just be part of it for the passion of it. The business side of it's not quite always on my mind. However, I'm learning what that is all about. I'm more artistic than I am business. So that is what it is. To everybody, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great weekend. Enjoy the week. Monday through the week, I will have more videos edited from Toronto Audiofest. I still have a number of them to do. One's a live performance. One is a audio demo from Audio Note UK. I think there was a couple of others that I needed to edit together. Also, the award ceremony from 2024 Toronto Audio Fest. I have the entire clip or almost the entire clip. I need to edit that with some titles that needs to go out there. I believe that that's a very valuable showcase for the show for our Canadian community. It was a fantastic moment for many of us. So that will be posted as well. Yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, Mirage Bryson. Great live as usual. I appreciate that. I'm going to go and rest my face. I'm going to watch some stuff, prepare myself for Monday. It is what it is. Anyways, I'll see you in the future. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, and let me know in the comments on any other videos what you think of them. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right. Have a great night. Bye-bye.